let's take a breather, shall we? Yes, there are issues we have to absolutely confront, and we've tried as much as possible to tackle them. That's not the end to it. But let's take a look at what's happening on the softer side of things, as we always do on the show. We're turning our attention to the big screens. Now we have two gentlemen who sort of have two paths in life, or they had two paths, and they chose, well, maybe let me step away from one and pursue the other. First, we have joining us Israel Danso, who is an actor, joins us from Liberia this morning. He's an aviation administrator who's now an actor. Good morning, Israel. Welcome to the Morning Brief.
Good morning, Patrick. It is a pleasure being here this morning. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world.
Good morning, Israel. This is Kayode, by the way, speaking with you. And you have such an interesting story. You have a major relationship with Nigeria as well, having participated in the movie star reality show, your third runner-up. I believe at that time you've also acted in Nollywood. But I'm interested in your origin story, as a sense. You're not a villain here, you're a superhero, right? Tell us, aviation administrator, acting, how did that happen?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I started off as an actor, and basically, well, if I am to start from the beginning, I started as a public servant in the Liberian Army. That's where I started from. I served the Liberian Army for like 10 years. And then after that, I had to resign and go on to Nigeria. I went to Nigeria, and there I continued representing my country, where I represented Liberia at the next movie star acting competition in Nigeria. And at the end of that competition, I was pitted against 7 Nigerians in the grand finale. And as God could have it, we were able to emerge third runner-up, and we won 2 other prizes, Mr. Game Changer and the most photogenic contestant of that show. But as things go, when I came back to Liberia after the competition, I had several contracts in Nigeria to pursue. So I was back and forth, and I had to resign my job. And then I left. I went to Nigeria. I did some movies there, and then eventually I had to come back home because, if Nigeria is not home.
No
if Nigeria is not home, you have to.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we lost you at that point where you made that very vital point, because we always love to welcome everyone. So please take it up from Nigeria is now home. Say it again for the people at the back to hear.
If Nigeria is not home, you have to get back home, to reconsolidate your base and continue moving ahead in life. So I came back to reconsolidate my base. And back home in Liberia, the industry is a very, very budding one. It's still young. It's not as vibrant as, Nollywood is. So we are basically starting from scratch, having people like Atu Spring who came out of here and went to Nigeria and, made it big. Julia Abraham, who left here, went to Nigeria, made it big. And currently, Eddie Watson out there making it big. And we have several Liberians out there. So our industry out there is a very young one.
Right.
Great talent waiting to be explored. So it's not as vibrant as Nollywood, where when I'm in Nigeria, I'm on set every day out here. I get to add 2-3 movies every year. And so I had to find a day's job. That's when I started exploring the aviation sector. Currently, I serve as an aviation administrator at the Liberia Airport Authority. And I'm still acting, though. We recently released a movie called No, Not Me that showcases the female genital mutilation crisis across Africa.
All right.
As well as street urchins, in our various communities across Africa. And that movie, I acted alongside Atu Frank, and it's being premiered currently across the U.S.
Oh, that's beautiful, Israel. I thought you had said Nigeria is now home, but it just hit me. You said Nigeria is not home. So it was a heartbreak moment for me, but it's understandable. And it's great to hear about the work that you're doing in Liberia. And hey, every industry started from a place. Even the Hollywood that we know about started from a tiny place now it speaks. So it speaks of greater things to happen. But I'll come to you, I'll come back to you in a moment, because we have joining us from our Abuja studio here in Nigeria, Thompson Makolo Jr., who's a filmmaker, actor, and compare. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Brief. You also have a very interesting story. It's okay. These things happen from time to time. You have an interesting story, right? From the medical line, then you went into acting. What's going on? It looks like acting is not something you should just rely on. But is your own story different?
All right, Claudia, thank you very much for having me. I'm so glad to be here today. Good morning, Nigerians. For me, I was born to act. I was born to make film. I was born to tell stories. Like you said, initially, my father wanted me to go study medicine. But as life would have it, as time would have it, as stories would have it, he passed on in 2004, and the hope to push for what he wanted me to do couldn't come to pass again, and I decided to find my own path. And that began my journey in 2004, from the streets of Anyigba down to the city of Makurdi, to Lafia in Nasarawa State, to Abuja, to Lagos, back home in Kogi, out of Kogi to Asaba, and now we are here. So for me, film is life.
Tell us about the bell, please. Thompson, are you headmaster?
Yes.
What's up with the bell? I know Akbako Master has a bell, but Thompson also has his bell. What's this bell about?
Yes, this bell is an attention seeker. Please, attention, everyone. You know what the bell represents.
Yeah.
You know, once you hear the bells, that means you are needed. So we have the bell as a signature for my new project, Oyoma, the voice of old. And we're calling for the attention of everyone in Nigeria and for everyone on the continent of Africa, and of course, the entire globe. We have something to tell you, so that's why we're having the bell.
Are we going to survive this bell today? Bukola?
And you definitely got our attention. Interesting, from medicine to acting. Fantastic. And there are a number of, mechanical engineers too who have become content creators. But let's talk about the industry itself. There's a foray, of a number of. Okay, first of all, talk to us about your current project before we expand into the social issues in Nollywood.
Okay, yes, we have a current project titled Oyoma, the voice of old. It is one of our biggest exports yet into the Nigerian film industry from Kogi State, and of course, particularly the Igala Kingdom, the 9th largest ethnic group in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This film tells our story. It tells the story of the Igala people and the Idoma people, both in north central Nigeria. It tells the story of a kingdom with an impending doom, as revealed by the gods to the kingdom diviner, the Uyugata, for lack of traditional adherence by the king. So this is our newest project, and it tells our story. It means so much to us. It brings us to the fore. It brings us to the globe, and it helps to add majorly to the values of the Nigerian film industry, both at home and in the diaspora.
I'm looking forward to seeing the movie already. Some of the scenes are quite compelling. But let's take it to Israel, who's joining us from Liberia. Talk to us about, well, first of all, I'd like to own the vibrance that you credit to Nollywood and the prolific outlook that we have. And we hope to infect Lollywood with some of it as well. But I know that there have been some partnerships with Lollywood and Nollywood actors in the recent past, with awards and, an exchange sort of. How has that impacted, on the Lollywood space, and what are the things that, your own film space is taking from these partnerships?
Oh, basically, these partnerships they are really, really forthcoming, and we are really grateful for such partnerships. As I talk to you, currently we have 2 young actors in Nigeria right now. who are really exploring their talents in Nigeria. We have Steve Austin, we have Austin Kokoli out there, and then we have Alpha Charlie out there, as well as, Eddie Wasi is sourcing a new breed of actors from all across the continent. And we've been in touch, and we're trying to, make things work. And the storytelling part of actors and filmmakers is just a dynamic and great, doing things that we have a lot of here that we are about to, cross over onto Hollywood and collaborate. As I'm talking to you, the president of the Latin Movie Union is what last interview, and the plans are very. You're gonna have them back here and probably for in between Liberia, Nigeria, and Hollywood.
Oh dear. I don't know what's going on with our Liberian brother, Owusu Danso. I wanted to ask him a few more questions as we begin to wind down. But also, in case you can hear us, we're having connection issues. So we'll come back to you in just a moment. Let's come back to Makolo. Yes, most of the time when we talk about movies, it's very Lagos-centric. Of course, it's the commercial capital of Nigeria. Is the center, is the epicenter of a lot of things. Literally, I call it the gateway, even though my colleagues from Ogun State will argue with that, but Lagos is actually the gateway state. So tell us why this is important as a movie. Are you trying to make a significant statement in making an inroad across the country by telling this story as seen from the eyes of the people from the north?
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Geoffrey. Storytelling comes from everywhere. Lagos, of course, is Lagos. Lagos is the capital of entertainment on the African continent. Nobody can argue that. But if we're going to be telling the Nigerian story, it can be told from everywhere. And we choose to make a large contribution to the Nigerian film industry coming from the north-central axis, because the Nigerian film industry is quite wide, it's open, and nations have to tell their stories. And we have some of the biggest stories on the continent. The Igala people of Nigeria from Kogi State have some of the biggest stories. And we must begin to bring our own stories to the fore, tell it with the best of quality, tell it with the right narratives, and make our own contribution to the overall cultural growth and preservation of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and of course the African continent. All
right, let's take it back to Owusu. Also, for a moment, we couldn't hear, you've got a network connection. So what is the Liberian film industry learning from Nigeria? I'll give you one, for instance, for the records. The Nollywood you celebrate today and the music industry that Africa celebrates today evolved in spite of the government. It wasn't as if the government did anything to make it grow. But government now cashed in when the guys built it from ground zero to a large extent. So what exactly is your industry learning that it can use as maybe a pivot to be able to climb and become a force to reckon with in West Africa?
Currently, the industry has come to the understanding that government is not going to come to your rescue as an entertainer, because most basically government looks at you as a very small player in the economy. So we have adapted to the acts of collaborations with each other. You will find 2, 3 directors and producers coming together, joining forces to produce a very good project that tells a great story, and then gradually we do that, and then we put on the market, we market it, and, we recoup our gains and recoup our profits and move on to the next project. So that is something that I learned in Nollywood while I was there. I remember being on movie set, and I would see 2, 3, 4, 5 other producers and directors vacating that set, to scout talent from, these directors, production. And that is something that I brought back to Liberia, and that is something we introduced here, and that is something we are using, to allow this industry to grow, because you have to grow to a certain extent before government will call you in and consider you as a major player in the national economy.
Well, I'd like to bring this to both of you, but starting with Makolo. This foray into Nollywood? It seems like there's, you know, an army of interested people in Nollywood, and there's an abundance of talent, no doubt. But the concern is, you know, just like in other associations where, you know, other professional fields where there are associations, you know, that vet the people that come in, there seems to be nothing like that. It seems like it's an all-comers affair into Nollywood. Thomas, I'd like you to respond to that. Thompson, rather.
Okay, I don't think that is completely true. The Nigerian film industry has regulators, you know, guilds that regulate the practices in the industry. We have the Actors Guild of Nigeria, which is the actors arm. We have the Directors Guild of Nigeria. You have the Producers Guild. You have the Writers Guild. So it is not an all-commerce affair. Why it makes it look like it's an all-commerce affair is the fact that talent is open. Okay, so this is not you going to school to study it before you are able to come and apply for a job. It's nothing, you know, very formal. I don't have to come to your office to come and say, okay, this is my application, I want to work for you. Okay, so it's like you knowing how to play football. You don't have to go to any office to go and say, okay, I know how to play football, please hire me. You play from the field,
right,
and you are able to find the structure on how you are able to grow your career. So the same thing it is applicable to Nollywood. As an actor, you know where you belong. As a producer, you know where you belong. As a director, you know where you belong. And of course, the government have agencies who also regulate the activities of the industry.
Right.
For instance, the National Film and Video Censors Board regulates and rates films. So you cannot just make a film and say, okay, I've made a film and I throw it out. For instance, Oyoma was produced by me, and it went through the process of being rated by the National Film and Video Censors Board. So this is not me just making a film and just throwing it to the audience. No, this is me making a film and going through the channel again.
All right,
so, government, this is what I have done. Look at it and give it a rating. And
this is something
see whether it is consumable by the audience or not.
Well, this is a body of work that we look forward to seeing from both of you, by the way, and it's great. I want to do some matchmaking and say we look forward to both of you being in the same movie together, working on a project. But we have to thank you so much, Thompson Makolo Jr., a filmmaker, actor, and compare. This man does a lot of things.
And
thank you for your
doctor,
time.
You might want to add.
He didn't pursue that, actually. And we also have joining us Israel Owusu, dancer, an actor from Liberia. Gentlemen, we appreciate your time on the show.
Thank you so much.
So in filmmaking, there's a cut. So we have to cut at this point on the show. But not to worry. Channels Television continues with Sunrise Daily. I'm Kayode Okikilo. Thank you for joining us.
And I'm Jeffrey Uzama. Bye-bye.
We'll be back again tomorrow. I'm Bukola Koka. Bye now.